Good. Just want to ask, it's not a game like it's been in years past, but with it being a practice, is there a drill that you think fans should try to watch or they'd be entertained by, anything like that?
Well, with the big boys, we get pretty physical, so most of our drills involve striking the bag or we get to look a little finesse when we doing some pass rush drills. But for the most part, I feel like D-line drills, they're pretty entertaining. But overall, yeah, it'll be fun to watch, every drill especially.
Tim, what did you see in the scrimmage today?
I think we did some good things, things we got to work on. We got 2 more days to finish out the spring, have some good momentum going into the fall. Going into the summer and the fall. So, yeah, it was a good day.
A bunch of coaches talked about finishing, not just practice, but also games. Maybe something you didn't do to the level you wanted to last season.
It's every day in meetings. Every day we were reminded, finish strong. It's always in the notes, no matter if it's a different note or if it's a new slide. It's always up there for you to take notes, so you're reminded.
This is your last day. Any sort of emotion just going into that?
I've been thinking about it, but it's just, just taking it with every little grain of salt. Just appreciating the moments that I had, just appreciating the spring ball, appreciating I get to have another 8 day and stuff like that. So I'm just happy for it at the end of the day.
Do you have any thoughts about it not being a traditional game?
Hey, not necessarily. We in Bryant-Denny. We still, it don't change, nothing changed for me for real, so I'm still doing what I do, so yeah.
Have guys kind of made plans for the summer yet in terms of getting together for workouts?
Definitely not necessarily sure, but we definitely gonna be linked up, getting our work in over the break or whatnot. But we trying to finish these last 2 days of spring strong though. Yeah.
Yesterday, Chris Lowe tweeted about a comment from Jeremy saying that Jaden Roberts was looking very good, very healthy. What have you seen going up against him each and every day?
Well, I just see a big old dude trying to get me out my gap. So, but Big Jaden, it's always good work going against him, good competition. We getting each other better and whatnot. And he looking good and everything, looking real healthy. And he feeling strong.
What do you know about what he was dealing with last season? How challenging it was for him to work through it?
Well, J-Rob, he a dog, man. So he gonna find his best way to fight through it. So long as he can get through it, he got the helmet strapped up, we good to go.
So what you've been asked about, what did you see from the scrimmage today?
We had some good things he had to work on, and but for the most part, we have some good momentum going into the summer. We're just trying to finish these last 2 days of spring up.
I know it's your third long scrimmage, I guess. How different do you see your unit from this scrimmage compared to the first one you guys had earlier in the spring?
Of course, we making improvements, and it's things like everything ain't gonna be perfect. So got to go back to the drawing board on some things. But for the most part, I'm happy with the development of our guys, especially Beeman, Edric, Bernard, Keon, Saya, Steve, all those guys.
How long does it take for I asked Parker this, but how long does it take for a defensive line to have to develop chemistry once you kind of know, okay, these are going to be the guys that are going to be on the first team? How long does it take to kind of gel together?
It depends on how fast they laugh at your joke. So if you crack a joke and they laugh, it's like, all right, dude, kind of chill. We gonna see what he about. But for the most part, we all know, we here, we fight. It not take forever, but when we get a sack, we done work for it. So just knowing you're gonna be hunting with your brother, that chemistry ain't gonna take too long.
Yeah. What's kind of this summer look like in that regard? Is it just further connecting with, members of the line? Is it kind of, I don't know, what does that look like for you, I guess?
Get barbecues at my house. I'm on the grill, so I tell them boys come through, throw some chicken on there, just have a good time, hang out. It'd be fights or games going on, we'll watch the fight at the game, or we'll go out and do stuff we like fishing and stuff like that. So, but a bunch of stuff outside of here, that's what makes the chemistry stronger.
You're an older player on this team. LT and Parker have talked about how the transfers who came in last year, they're more comfortable kind of being more vocal. Do you see that from them stepping up as leaders this spring?
Definitely. Last year, of course, you getting into new things. You still have a voice and you still gonna say your little piece. But this year, you would think they've been here from the start. The way they're molded into their leadership, the way they're carrying themselves. So the transfers that came in last year definitely making that mark this year.
What does it feel like for a young guy? I guess looking back at If this is their first experience at Bryant-Denny, this A-Day, like what do you remember about that for you? Like what memories kind of come to mind in terms of what A-Day feels like at Bryant-Denny?
I was like, man, it's just for a spring game, like, but it is definitely an experience. Like you get to go out there, especially if you were early enrollee, like you still got to go graduate. So you get to play on Bryant-Denny Stadium and Saban Field. You get to be out there, you get to see the fans, you get to see your folks. So that moment is like so realist, you won't forget it.
Do you expect it to feel different? It's like with it not being a quote unquote game, but more of a practice session, just in a different venue.
Well, I look at it the same. We go out there perform and people watching. So, same old for us.
You talk about joking. Jamarian Latham says everybody gives him a hard time for being old. Do you?
Nah, because it's like if he paw, I'm so that's how we go. But he for sure paw.
Who've been some of the younger guys on the D-line that have stood out for the spring?
Beeman, Edric, Jordan, Keon, just pretty much all those guys. Like they're making the mark. They're being here working all the time. Getting extra playbook work and studying. So it's gonna be a real fun season. And even though he's not a D lineman, linebacker QB Reese been making extreme noise this spring. So I'm definitely proud of him. And we got to play high school together. My senior year was his freshman year. So man, I'm excited for him, the players he's molded into, the player he's becoming. So I'm excited to see him on that field this year, hopefully.
Where have you seen him grow the most, QB?
Just ball knowledge and growing into his body and stuff like that. Not saying he was undersized or whatnot, but he wasn't at first look you may think that, but that's a dog. That's a dog, and he made his way on the field. He made the coach put him in. He made himself get those reps. So shout out to QB Reese, man. Proud of you. I want you to keep going, keep your head on straight, keep God in your life. So yeah, shout out to QB Reese.
Have you kind of tried to be just a leader for him in particular, having played high school ball with him obviously last season? How'd you maybe help him start to make those progressions that you're now seeing this spring?
Yeah, just always just keep the main thing, pray about everything, and do your part. I think it was my pastor Freddie, said, do what you can and God gonna do what you can. So that's what I make sure I tell my guys and stuff like that.
Have you seen the offensive line kind of challenge you guys in some of these scrimmages and just improve? Parker Brailsford mentioned that continuity. Just have you seen them become more solid in year two, and just how they challenged you guys as a defensive line in some of these scrimmages?
Yeah, when you see the O-line, they always together. They always, trying to get some work and stuff like that. So the bond and the things that they're doing over there is definitely been giving us some good work. And, iron sharpens iron. So we giving them our best. We getting their best.
What group won today?
What group won today?
Offensive, defensive line.
Alabama. They're right.
Where's Beeman maybe grown the most over the spring?
Beeman just overall that getting those game reps. Even though he stepped up big in the Michigan game last season, this spring you can definitely tell like he's feeling comfortable. He has his confidence. He's playing fast, physical, violent. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jeremiah Beeman.
All right, thank you, Tim.